Hey, it's Wednesday, so welcome to the Monday morning show. Ryan G. Hensley, Grant L. Cohn. I'm leaving for Vegas in like 3 hours, and training camp feels like it's kind of over, but it's not. We're here, and we got joint practices coming up, but we want to like reflect on what we've seen the last few weeks. Give out some awards, like when people graduate high school, among the recognized. What award did you win?
I didn't win any awards. No awards in high school. I was not award worthy. Best car. I had a Camaro, 87 Camaro.
How did I know?
Yeah, they didn't vote
Pretty
for
size.
me.
Biggest Mac.
Definitely.
What do you think I won?
Best personality?
No.
Oh.
Not even close.
Best hair? Best hair?
No. Biggest flirt.
Biggest flirt. Wow. Look at you go. Look at Grant.
Raising the roof. Raising the roof, children. All right, let's get into among the recognized. I was biggest flirt. Who was the offensive MVP of training camp? Your opinion?
I mean, it's pretty simple, right? Brandon Ayuk. What were your numbers on him when it comes to his pass catches? Like he had easily the most.
Yeah, I stopped counting the last 2 days, but through 9 days, he had 31, and then he had 2 more practices after that. So more than 35.
What was the second best? What was
Debo
it like?
with 19. Now, Debo, had some catches. This is through 9 days. I got to update it. But yeah, it was like he had twice as much as the next guy.
He's just dominating. He's just dominating. Where do you think Brandon Ayuk's going to go as far as like ranking him throughout the NFL? Is he a top 10 guy? Is he a top 20? Where do you see Brandon Ayuk?
I think he's a top 10 guy. The way I look at it, I was talking about this with the coach recently. Shout out him. Like, Debo is in the perfect system for him. Like, the Niners optimized Debo. Like, he's somewhat limited, but on the Niners, he seems like he's versatile. He can do so much. Ayuk isn't being optimized by the 49ers. Like, they don't have the quarterback or the offense to really optimize him. He should be in a pass-first team as a number one target with a quarterback like Josh Allen or Patrick Mahomes, but he's not. And so he has to run digs and speed outs and curls and shallow crosses, which he can do. But he also could be running posts and post corners and like fades and all that kind of stuff that, say, Justin Jefferson gets to run. And he doesn't really get that part of his game accentuated. So he would be even better on another team. The Niners are sort of holding him back to a degree. But I still think what shows the mark of a great player is that they can still make a big impact, and that's what he's doing right now.
Yeah, and it seems like he's going to get 1,000 yards again. I guess this will be the first time since Anquan Bolden where the 49ers have had a receiver get 1,000 yards 2 years in a row. So
yeah, barring injury, I would expect that. Just the way Kyle Shanahan's calling plays, it seems like Brandon Ayuk is the primary target more times than not, as he should be, because he gets open and he catches. Well, it's not that he catches everything; he just can catch poorly thrown passes. I think one big weakness with this team is just drops in general. And it was like a big issue yesterday. Ayuk dropped one. Like, why do you guys drop so many passes?
Yeah.
That'd be one way to improve the team big time. Easily. Drop fewer passes.
Yeah. Well, I imagine he's gonna get that record again, first since Anquan Bolden, and that's without having that quarterback or that offense to assist him there. By the way, I noticed we're both wearing white T-shirts. I'm glad you got the memo.
I slang in my white tee. I bang in my white tee. Forget a throwback. I look clean in my white tee. Sorry. Yeah. But that's how we did it back in 2004. But they would be really, really big, the tall tee.
White T-shirts are a staple of my is it Stafford? Are you wearing Stafford?
No. Kirkland.
You got to go Stafford.
Kirkland. Dude. No. Everyone knows that the Kirkland makes the best white. Like, these, you can't mess with this collar right here. Like, it never stretches. It's like a $5 shirt, and it'll last you for like 10 years.
Yeah.
It's great. Kirkland. I'm telling you.
This isn't Stafford, but I usually wear Stafford, only J.C. Penney's. Shout out to Stafford.
Oh, okay. Shout out to J.C.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Congrats on your sponsorship, by the way. I saw that.
Hey, speaking of, we'll talk about that a little bit later. We'll do a little spot, talk about gambling.
All right. Good.
Yeah, absolutely. Hold on. Omari's World says, I miss Harbaugh. He used to actually embrace his quarterback. That's true. Big time.
Literally.
Whereas Kyle sort of competes with him.
Yeah. Slap the pads.
Yeah. Slap at a pad, slap at a Lamonte 757 says, what if Kyle is so hard on Trey because he is like a dad hard on the son that sees more in him but tries to get results with tough love? Remember, he wanted him to take the job from Jimmy. Okay, so then why is he calling Brock Purdy the real deal and Sam Darnold the next Steve Young? Because he wants him to fail?
Yeah, he's that dad that never tells his son he's proud of him. That's the dad.
And I feel like that's probably the kind of dad Mike was.
Deep.
You kind of, yeah. I'm not saying everyone is like their parents, but some people are. Some people sort of repeat what their parents modeled. Some people. And I wonder.
Yeah.
Some go the other way. I'm looking at you, Ryan. All right, moving on. Defensive MVP at training camp.
See, this one was tough for me because nothing really jumped out when I was there, but I was focusing on offense mostly because I was only there for a couple of days. So I was really focusing on the quarterbacks more than anything, obviously. But, just Talanoa Hufanga continues to be the first man out before practice 2 years in a row. I see he's having a positive influence on Jair Brown. He's coming out there with him. I think Huff is just a leader, man. I just love his personality. And what I did see, he seems to be around the ball. Although he does struggle a little bit against George Kittle. But I'm going to go with Huff.
I like it, but I'm going to give a controversial take here.
All right.
Tashawn Gibson.
Okay.
I think this guy is like underrated. He doesn't get enough credit. Like he could intercept 8 passes in a season and people be like, yeah, that 31 on the Niners is solid. Like, what?
Yeah.
He has more interceptions in his career than Earl Thomas had. He is a real ball hawk, and he has 3 pick sixes in camp so far through 11 days.
Why? Why is he why is he so underrated? Like he was last year,
I don't know.
Yeah.
He's bounced around the league. No one ever has invested in him long term, but every season it's like 3, 4, 5 interceptions. He's so consistent. First thing the Niners do this offseason is trade up for a guy who can replace him, and he's like, oh, word, I'm the guy. That's the low man on the totem pole. Watch me ball out in training camp. And one thing is really cool. So he gets he's so good. He's always in the right spot. He has these picks. And then after practice, they eat lunch and we do the interviews. And then I go outside to do my little videos. And every day I see him walking over to just walk to his, I assume, girlfriend or wife who's just chilling in the car. And they talk. And it's like, that is so cute. You know, I don't know who that woman is. Maybe I'm just, but it just seems like he's, hey, honey, how you doing? How'd you do? Oh, I kicked fucking ass today, like I always do. That's good. That's really nice.
You might have just snitched on him. You never know.
Yeah, sorry. If that's like not your, I'm sorry. I probably shouldn't have said that. But I see him every day, and it doesn't seem like he's being sneaky. No, he just gives me a little head nod and goes out and talks to his girl and comes back.
I think that's a good pick, man. Last year, honestly, you could make a serious argument that he had a better year than Hufanga, right? He had 5 interceptions, right? Huff had 4.
I thought he did. Yeah, it's just Hufanga is like, I don't know. He's got the hair. He's got the Troy Polamalu cosign. He's famous.
Draft pick.
He's a draft pick. He's a name. Tashawn Gibson's nobody, but I thought he was the MVP of the defensive MVP of camp because he took like no days off. He brought the same level of intensity every day. I'm not saying he's a better player than Hufanga or that he's better than Travarius Ward. He just showed up. So did Ayuk.
Yeah.
They set the standard.
Last year, I felt that same way. I mean, even when Jimmy Ward was coming back, a lot of people wanted Jimmy Ward to just take Gibson's spot, but Gibson was playing so well. And Jimmy Ward was probably my favorite player on the 49ers defense going into last year. But Gibson was playing so well. How can you bench him, right? So, yeah.
And also, like, Fred Warner was great. Dre Greenlaw was great. Eric Armstead was great. Javon Hargrave was great. Like, up the middle, the defense was phenomenal. And then even on the outside, Lenore is we'll talk about it, but Lenore's way better than last year. The defense played well.
Yeah.
They just don't have defensive ends right now.
Yeah, where's he at?
And it's like no one cares. I don't know. I think from Steve Wilkes' perspective, I'd want to have Nick Bosa. I've never coached this defense before. I might want to do different things. I have pressure packages that not only involve Nick Bosa, but feature Nick Bosa, and he's not there. So we get no reps. That sucks. So that kind of forces your hand to be vanilla right off the bat, doesn't it? I don't know. We'll see.
I took a Where's Waldo photo, and I shrunk Nick Bosa, and I put him in there. It says, Where's Nick Bosa? Just for fun. I thought that was
he's actually in there?
Yeah, I put him in there. He's on my Twitter.
Dope. I got to go see if I can find him. Did someone find him?
Yeah, someone found him. You guys can go look. Try to find Nick Bosa.
Try.
Yeah.
I think I know where he is. He's at home.
Florida.
In South Florida. Chilling.
Chilling.
Yeah.
Are you worried about that? I'm not really. I think it's gonna come together late. But
I don't worry about anything, man. I only worry about myself and my own life.
Care.
Nick Bosa, I don't give a damn. I'm not gonna stress about Nick, but he's gonna end up getting like hundreds of millions of dollars. So I'm not stressing about him.
Yeah,
He's not stressing about me either. That's the thing. I don't stress about people who don't stress about me.
Mm-hmm.
You know
Nick's
what I'm saying?
not worried about you.
Not at all.
Yeah.
So I'm not worried about Nick. He's going to get his money. The Niners are going to work this out. The way I read this is, I don't think Nick wants to be here right now. And I know like there's a bunch of defensive linemen who are due for extensions right now, right? Like, was Chris Jones one and Brian Burns one.
Mm-hmm.
So
he's waiting.
He's waiting. I mean, like those guys got to go first. It's probably the agent saying like, we're in no rush. This market will probably take care of itself right before the season starts. So it's just a business thing. And he is in the ultimate control, the ultimate spot because he was the defensive player of the year. He's going to be the highest paid player and he can wait as long as he wants. And the Niners can't say a damn thing about it. They can't complain. They just have to say, we love Nick and we'll take him. We'll take him any way we can get him. Gee, golly. He's almost like a bully in school. And the Niners are like, yeah, we love him. Because it's like, you'd rather have him on your team than not on your team, right? He's not really on your team. Yeah. You may name him a captain, but he's not out here. He's just an independent contractor. And you damn sure don't want him on the other team. You want him on yours, even though he's not going to make it, not going to be here, not going to. But yeah, he's great.
For not 49er fans' sake, what's the percentage you give him for not
playing
week
one? Playing week one, 100%.
Yeah,
gonna play.
Yeah,
will he know the play calls from Steve Wilks? I don't know. Will Steve Wilks be able to do the things he wanted to do with him? I don't know. But he'll probably be. My guess is that Nick Bosa will be in the best shape we've ever freaking seen him week one. That's my guess. And also, the fact that he has an extended offseason and can stay in that little lab that him and his family have in South Florida might mean that he could last longer because it seems to me that he kind of fades at the end. People don't want to say it because he's the greatest player in the league, whatever, but he kind of fades at the end of seasons. So maybe this is all a plan of Nick Bosa. Stay in the lab, do your thing, and then come to the team in September as opposed to October, as opposed to August, and fade in February as opposed to January.
No sacks in the playoffs, right? Or did he have one? I think it was one. Close to
maybe none.
Close to none.
I don't know.
Yeah, so maybe that's a good strategy.
Maybe.
Yeah.
What does he have to do out here? Like honestly, coming to training camp, how does he get better? He only gets better, maybe, going against Trent Williams. How many reps is Trent Williams really going to take in one-on-ones? Like 5. And then 11 on 11s, some. But like, I just feel like most of the days Bosa wouldn't be doing anything anyway. So the other thing, but he could at least come to the meetings. That's the thing. You have a new defensive coordinator. Wouldn't you? You don't have to freaking practice. Don't care. But like, wouldn't you want him there? Maybe not. Maybe he could just zoom in. But I don't get the feeling he's zooming in. I get the feeling he's like, you haven't paid me yet. Don't fucking call me. I'll see you when talk to my agent. And when you work it out, I'll be there. That's the way I see it.
That'd be a good question. That'd be a good question for Kyle.
Yeah.
Is he on the Zoom meetings? I think that'd be interesting to find out. But honestly, I don't think it matters. Nick Bosa is Nick Bosa. He's going to show up and he'll be fine, and he'll do the Nick Bosa things when he's ready. Let's be nice.
It's fun to ask Steve Wilks about this because he's going to say the right thing, but what's his face going to look like?
Right.
I bet you he's not happy about it. I get this job. The first thing I do, my best player doesn't show up at all. I can't even contact him. Sweet. Great. Everyone's going to want me to have the number one defense in the league, and no one's going to give me this excuse. Sweet. Thanks, Nick.
Wilks has that old school vibe. I get an old school vibe from Wilks, so I think he probably does want him.
I agree. And he's got that old school vibe, and I wonder if it pisses him off that his best player just ghosted him.
Yeah.
Hey, thanks, Nick, for the respect and deference. Appreciate it.
He'll probably get over it really quickly once Nick Bosa.
I just think, I agree. Nick's so funny. Like, he's never, ever treated a coach like a coach. He came to the 49ers. I remember before he played a game, someone asked him, are you like looking forward to getting to know and playing for Robert Saleh? And it was like a 21-year-old talking about a 40-year-old. And he was like, yeah, man, I really can't wait to play some golf with Robert. I was like, that's your buddy now? Like, I bet essentially, yeah. I feel like coaches kind of just have to kiss Nick's ass at this point. Kind of like, have you seen Hard Knocks? The way everyone talks to Aaron Rodgers in that.
I watched it last night.
The way everyone talks to Rodgers on that show. That's sort of Nick Bosa on this team. And what's crazy about Bosa is that I put up a poll yesterday on Twitter for Niner fans mostly. Would you trade Nick Bosa for a franchise quarterback? However you define it. 56% of people said no. So he's got a lot. That's the Niners franchise quarterback. He's got all the leverage.
They're lost, man. When I was watching that, what I was
Lost.
thinking of is, damn, how nice it would be to have freaking Aaron Rodgers. Like, I don't give a shit. A crap. I don't care about his personality. I don't care about if you disagree with his politics. But if the 49ers were able to get Aaron Rodgers instead of the Jets, obviously, Green Bay doesn't want to trade him to an NFC team. I get that, but go give him Nick Bosa for all I care. Give him Nick Bosa. Give him whatever you need.
Right.
Get fucking Aaron Rodgers. You win a Super Bowl. Like, that's how I see it. But maybe I'm just crazy.
But do you see how Robert Saleh and Nathaniel Hackett handle Aaron Rodgers?
Oh yeah,
he's the greatest.
He's the head coach.
Greatest.
I like
he's
Saleh,
the head coach of the team.
He runs that whole thing now.
He does. He runs the whole thing, and Robert Saleh is sort of like the number 2 guy, and Nathaniel Hackett's like the number 3 guy, and they ride back seat, and they praise every freaking decision that Aaron Rodgers does, every throw. Oh my God, that's just a Hall of Famer. That's just a Hall of Famer. You have a life-size picture of Kyle Shanahan doing that for Aaron?
Oh no,
I don't.
No,
I don't. Kyle would compete with him. Kyle would come in, hey man, I know you think you're the greatest quarterback of all time, but these 5 fucking plays yesterday were unfucking acceptable. Let's talk about them.
Yeah.
Swear to God, that's how his dad talked to Steve Young, and Steve Young loved it. He's like, "Oh, bring it on! I'm the greatest. I love it," and it worked for him. But Aaron is not like that. No. Aaron's a sensitive man who needs to be praised all the time. He needs his ego stroked all the time because he's not really considered the greatest quarterback of his generation. Tom Brady is, and he thinks he's better. So you have to constantly be like, "Man, you just invented playing quarterback, and you're the greatest thrower ever," and blah 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 blah. I don't think Kyle could do it, and if he could, they'd win a Super Bowl, but he can't.
Yeah. That's probably why they didn't get Tom Brady as well.
R King says, here's $5. Thank you. Khalil Kemp says, pro club, white tees all day. Kirkland.
Pro club.
Kirkland. R King, he knows what I'm talking about. Lamonte says, how many picks do you think each quarterback throws versus Vegas over the next couple of days? Marcus Peters has been a headache. I love Marcus Peters. I love that he's still in the league. Oakland's finest. Mm-hmm. Let's go. Probably Brock's been doing that, so a few.
I give Jimmy had 7 over 2 days, and now he's going against the Niners. And I guess 7, not only 7, but 6 drops, right? So that's 13 over 2 days against the Raiders defense. So I'm going with 8 against the Niners over the next 2 practices, minimum.
Jay Will says, did you grow up bumping 3-6 Mafia? I feel like they were in your rotation. Like, yeah, they were in everyone's rotation. Project Pat, 3-6 Mafia, Memphis' finest right there. They were a lot of fun. Although when I was in middle school, New Orleans kind of had like the stranglehold on all the dances, and it was all about Manny Fresh. And I've been listening to Juvenile's albums a lot recently, again, because I like Juvenile, and it's been like 20 years. And man, he had all the great Manny Fresh beats. He was so good. Yeah. He made so many albums, that dude, and all those beats are fire. Manny Fresh.
Growing up, I liked 3-6 Mafia, but I was real big on my Bay Area local underground rap at that age. So that's mostly what I listened to.
Well, yeah, but like when I was a kid in 2000, 2001, the internet was big. So it was like, the regional stuff was, you could hear the Bay Area stuff, but if you wanted to hear stuff from Memphis, that was so attainable at the time. And that felt like Napster. Wow. We had
AOL, dial-up. Internet was just
good times
starting when I was a kid.
Yeah. Spend all day to download one song. Good times. Yeah. William says, the difficulty of schedule is being overlooked. Going into 23 with Brock Purdy and Bosa on limited offseason could make for a bad start. Pittsburgh, not the Giants. That's the games. Pittsburgh, Giants, Dallas, Cleveland, Cincinnati, Jacks can all be playoff teams. No cakewalk. Not to mention just the sheer amount of travel. I have to do it. There's the 3 division games, but then there's 6 other road games, and they're all hella far away. Cleveland, Minneapolis, Pittsburgh, Philly, DC, Jacksonville. All like 4, 5, 6 hour flights. Exhausted.
Yeah, you're going to have fun. It's going to be a tough season. It really is. Brock's going to be tested. If Brock emerges out of this season, continues his winning ways, loses maybe 4 or 5 games tops, he's going to seal the deal because his schedule's tough. So if he can stay healthy, play the whole season and come out of it on top, Brock's not going anywhere for a long time. And Trey will be gone.
Yeah. Yep. Give me the best offensive rookie from training camp.
Offensive rookie.
And don't pick a special teams player.
Damn it! Jake Moody's on the list.
Nope. Even though he scores points, but nah.
Yeah, he's really special teams. I'm gonna say Braden Willis. Best offensive rookie that I can think of. He's made a number of catches. He looks better than Latu right now, from at least a catching standpoint. So I think Braden Willis has really jumped out, and that's one of the positions I'm really interested. I started my 53 man today, and I'm like really curious about how this is going to work out. I think they're going to cut a lot of good players, but with the tight ends, maybe you can give me your deal. I feel like Braden Willis is on the team. George Kittle, Braden Willis, Latu. Are they going to go?
It ain't Latu. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, Latu.
It ain't Latu. Yeah, but he's not the best offensive rookie.
No. Yeah, as far as the best offensive rookie, to answer the question is Braden Willis.
Willis.
Who do you have?
I don't even Braden Willis. Sometimes I'm like, I don't know. Like he can't block, in my opinion, or at least at the point of attack. Maybe he can block in other ways, but as a tight end at the point of attack, I don't see it. And then he's better than Latu, but sometimes I feel like it's that Kalen Laburn, the running back. He doesn't get a ton of burn, but I want to see him in the preseason. I think he's going to be good. I'm not really. Sometimes it's Ronnie Bell, but I don't know. That's my assessment of Ronnie Bell.
Yeah. Then when I was going through my 53 man today, I have Ronnie Bell going to the practice squad. I got Laburn. They're trying to sneak him to the practice squad.
If they waive Ronnie Bell, no one's going to claim him. I'm sorry.
No. Yeah.
No, you could waive him.
Yeah.
You could waive Braden Willis probably. No disrespect.
I mean, possibly. Latu, I feel like people would snatch up because he was drafted.
Yeah.
I don't think you can sneak
him. But, man, he might be the worst offensive rookie right now. That dude can't be bothered to put two hands out to try to catch the ball, man. Like the amount of times he tries to catch the ball with one hand when he doesn't have to is crazy because he has a tough enough time catching it with two. It's in your name. Latu, not La1, okay? Two hands. And you got to use them.
He leads the team in drops, right, through training camp.
And he has 7 targets. He's dropped like 4 or 5 passes. Come on, man.
Which is unfortunate because he can block for sure. And when I was there, I mean, you saw more of him, but when I was there, he seemed to get open. He seemed to be more explosive. He seemed to be more explosive than I anticipated, actually. So he just got to figure out how to catch footballs.
He looks like he'd be tough to tackle. He looks like he's tough to cover. He looks like he's tough to beat as a blocker. Catch the ball, man.
You know what, though, Grant? He did start his college career as a linebacker.
As a DN.
Yeah. Or DN.
Or whatever.
Yeah.
Or whatever, yeah.
Yeah, so is new. This is fairly new to him.
Okay, so he's a developmental. I'm not writing him off. I just feel like he's working. I don't know. He's got a ways to go. Maybe it'll all come together in Vegas, but I feel like he's got a ways to go. Yeah. Danny Gray had a ways to go. Look at him now. Give me the best defensive rookie in training camp.
What did I have? Best defensive rookie. Oh, So I want to say Jair Brown, but I really think it's Deshaun Jameson. Jair Brown, he got an interception yesterday, and he's always been solid. When I watched, there was nothing that made me question whether he was good or not. But there's nothing that jumped out for me when I was there either, besides the fact that he was out there first with Hufanga. But Deshaun Jameson, man, to me, as an undrafted free agent, I think he's making the roster. I have him on the team.
I agree.
Based on what I saw. So it's got to be him. If you go from a UDFA rookie to I already have you penciled on the team, I got to go with Deshaun Jameson.
I mean, he's so good. You might look at him as the first corner off the bench if Lenore or Travarius Ward isn't healthy. Like he might be better than Samuel Womack. I think he is better than Ambry Thomas. Darrell Luter Jr. has been hurt, could start the season on PUP. So Deshaun Jameson's good. He breaks up a lot of passes. Only thing I noticed from him is in the one-on-ones a couple days ago, he got flagged twice. And I think he's so aggressive that he might be, a penalty waiting to happen, especially as a rookie before he has a name. Although on the best defense in the league, maybe refs will let him slide. So he's very aggressive, kind of small, almost a little Jason Verretti, kind of.
Wow.
I don't know.
Well, Wilkes, he's a defensive back specialist. So if anybody can get him out of that habit, it'll be him. But you do see that often with rookie corners. But it sounds like something he can probably work out during the preseason. And I'm sure Wilkes is already on top of it. But the main thing is that he's able to cover and stay with guys. And he can work out the hand stuff later on. So, I got to say Deshaun Jameson. And honestly, his success as a corner also makes me wonder if he's going to get some reps at return man which
Ooh.
also might put one of these receivers in jeopardy. What are you oohing about? You got something there.
I think I got a comparison for Deshaun Jameson.
All right.
DJ Reed.
Mm.
DJ Reed is a really good starting cornerback that the Niners drafted, waived, got picked up by Seattle, became a starter for them, and now is a really good starter, number 2 dude for Saleh and the Jets. 5'9", 188, runs a 4.51. Okay. Deshaun Jameson, 5'9", 184, runs a 4.51. Agility off the charts. Not quite as explosive as DJ Reed, but this guy could end up being a starter for the 49ers. He could end up being better than Lenore. Deshaun Jameson is legit.
That'd be great. I only have 5 dudes right now. I only got 5 rookies making the team on my 53 right now. Obviously, that could change throughout the preseason, but he's one of them, and he wasn't even drafted. So we'll see how this goes. But I'm excited.
Also,
about
Jair
him.
Brown, that interception he made yesterday is legit. I mean, a lot of safeties could go their whole career not making that play.
Mm-hmm.
Looks like he probably is a playmaker, and I think he's going to end up being good. But just based on what people did in training camp, this was the Deshaun Jameson training camp for sure.
No, it's good. I'm glad we agree, man. Yeah.
Most improved player on the team based on training camp.
I don't think there's a question. Most improved is going to be Trey Lance. I think he's night and day better than he was last year. And to do it coming off of 2 ankle surgeries and also still somehow manage to improve with Jeff Christensen and then apply it in practice.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we heard a lot of people saying there's no way that, you know, you can go practice your mechanics, but once you start playing football, it goes away and it's very hard to change. But it looks clearly like he has. I mean, the ball jumps off his hands. His mechanics are refined. He's way more accurate, especially in that intermediate range where that's where he struggled the most. You know, you hear a lot about the layups for Trey Lance, but if you look at his percentages, the greatest difference between Brock Purdy and Trey Lance is in that intermediate range, that 10 to 20-yard range. And he looks to be the best one of these quarterbacks in that range to me. Yeah. And I think he's going to surprise a lot of people, and we'll see how it plays out in the preseason, but I think there's no question he's the most improved player on the team. There's
no
one
doubt.
other one. One other one. You might have him. You have another one?
No, I was going to talk about Trey for a second before we move on.
Okay.
I think it's amazing that he could make these strides in one offseason.
Yeah.
You know, with a private coach, 2 sessions, a few weeks, carried over the field. That's really impressive. And it's really it's too bad the Niners couldn't have figured this out 2 years ago. Yeah. Time is of the essence. This guy is on a rookie contract. You don't want to waste a minute. And Jeff Christensen was out there. Jimmy Garoppolo had worked with him since high school. You could have talked to Jimmy. He was in your facility. Instead, you sent Trey to John Beck. You broke his finger in a preseason game. Like, such wasted time. And now he's a backup. It's like, man, this all could have been avoided. Yeah. All could have been avoided. But better late than never, I guess, for Trey.
One of the many reasons why I don't buy into the trade or especially cut Trey Lance thing. I mean, if you're seeing these improvements coming off a short offseason, coming back from an ankle surgery, who knows? He's not done yet. That's the other thing. He's improved a lot, and there's so much more he can improve on. And he's neck and neck with all these quarterbacks. I don't care. You know, there's not one of these quarterbacks is head and shoulders above the other. And so for Trey Lance to go from where he went, from last year to this year, and with still more room to grow, absolutely, there's no question he's the most improved.
Yep. And he's doing this all in training camp where there's no zone read, there's no scrambling, there's no threat of his legs at all.
I like that personally.
Right, but like when they get in a game, if he ever were to play with this team, there would be defenses would have to account for that, which would open things up in ways that doesn't get open in training camp, is what I'm saying. So it's a factor. Yeah. He's basically competing on Brock Purdy's terms, if you know what I mean. When they're not the same quarterback. And there are things that Trey can do that Brock can't. But everyone's competing on Brock's terms because it's Brock's team right now.
Trey looks like the most dynamic, most talented quarterback out there. Brock looks like he runs the offense the best. That's kind of my impression. Like he's running the way Kyle wants it to be ran, but Trey looks like
he's the most confident guy at this time.
Yeah. But
see,
Trey's got to get out there and win some games to gain that confidence. Sure. That's
Of
what he
course.
needs. He's got to go out there, win games on the field, see it. Then
Yeah, Purdy kind of like struts around the field like he won the Super Bowl last year. And Trey walks around the field like he wishes he wasn't on the 49ers. So it's like it's a palpable difference.
Mm-hmm.
But again, like this could all change if they lose in Pittsburgh week 1.
Yeah. I gotta go Trey. And then real quick, and it's really just because of what I saw briefly and what you've been talking about. Diamador Lenore, I think it has improved, and he gets an honorable mention here on this award for me, just based on what I saw. He looks stronger, and he seems to be having a lot of success in training camp. Your mic all right there?
Yeah, it's all right. Sorry to be distracting. I would agree. I think one of the things, 2 people get big credit for the Lenore improving. Lenore being one for working his butt off as opposed to whatever Ambry Thomas has been doing the last 2 years, and Brandon Ayuk. I feel like those 2 guys have been facing each other, Lenore and Ayuk, every day for a while. And Ayuk is obviously better than Lenore. Gets the better of Lenore, but is also making Lenore better. What they say, iron sharpens iron.
Why isn't Charvarius matched up with Brandon Ayuk? Why is he matched up with Debo? Why is Debo still cute? Why is Debo still wide receiver 1? Should he be?
It's because they have Charvarius Ward on the left, which is where you usually put your number 1 corner, because you usually have your number 1 wide receiver on the right. Yeah. But on the Niners offense, Debo's more of like an old school flanker, and I think Ayuk's more of like an old school split end. And so the X receiver in old school offenses would be on the left more. Just for whatever reason, like the quick throws are on the right and the longer throws are on the left. So I think that's just how it works on the Niners, because Ayuk's better at getting off the press. He's a better route runner. And with Debo, you just want to get the ball in his hands and let him do stuff. That's just kind of how it works on the Niners. Yeah,
because I was watching the Jets, last night, and you see Sauce going against Garrett Wilson. And to me, I'm just watching like, man, those guys are both amazing, and they're going to both make themselves great. And it'd be nice if – maybe Lenore is just as good as Charvarius. I don't know. But it'd be nice to see Brandon Ayuk going against Charvarius.
It would be nice. Because they did in 11-on-11s yesterday, and Charvarius locked him up and almost intercepted the pass. Charvarius is really good. As good as Ayuk is, like Charvarius could probably shut him down. Not every time, but he's that good. He just doesn't he's already gotten paid, essentially. Yeah. And guys like that often don't bring it every day in early August, which is fine. It's fine. It's not ideal, but it's fine. They've proven themselves.
Unless you're CMC.
Yeah, pretty much. Our King says with Brock's struggles in camp, although he takes like every 3rd day off, so I'm not going to. With Brock's struggles in camp, why are the Niners still hell-bent on starting him? Losses could be the difference in getting a bye at home field. How about this? You could have said this last year. With Trey Lance's struggles in camp, why are the Niners still hell-bent on starting him? Like, that's what last year was. He wasn't great in camp last year, and they started him anyway. I feel like the Niners sort of make their mind up at this quarterback spot so they can say, we have a plan. Everything's going according to plan, not like we're winging it.
Well, in fairness, man, I feel like Brock Purdy, you won 8 games in a row. It'd be bad for the locker room not to start him. So there's really no competition going on between Brock and anybody. They determined that a long time ago. That Brock
you could always say we're going to go slow with Brock.
Yeah.
It's not that Brock's our starter. You could always be, Brock's our starter, but we're going to be patient.
Yeah.
Because we really like him, and he's part of our future. And then someone else starts week 1, and you're like, well, now we're riding the hot hand.
Well, that's what I thought was going to happen with Brock, because I didn't think his timeline was going to be so short, like as far as recovery. I thought they were going to be like, if it was close, I thought they were going to do what you just said. But, he shows up day 1 of training camp. So, it kind of changes everything.
Lamonte757 says, if Kyle really cares about Brock, he would say he is quarterback 1 publicly, no sugarcoat. He always says he doesn't know. He has to start Purdy because how he ended last year. What happens when Moody misses game-winning kick? Yeah, it's interesting. Like, they give him all the reps. They say he's not going to start because the starters aren't starting, but they won't come out and call him the starter. Like, why not? Why? To motivate him?
So when I heard him call him a starter in regards to this game coming up, I figured that was basically what he was doing. But has anyone asked him yet, is Brock Purdy starting week 1 recently? Has anyone asked him that?
Guess not. Maybe he would say yes if asked. Yeah. I could do that. Game Time says, if we got Kirk, would our defense look like 16 Atlanta?
If we got Kirk, would our defense
Some people would have to go.
Oh, I see what you're saying. We'd have to get rid of some guys. I mean,
think so.
You could trade Bosa, and boom, there you go.
Juan Torres says, Grant, Nick Wright definitely used all your points almost word for word. Need my boy Grant. I mean, I don't know if he watched me or you or someone else, but it felt like all of a sudden Nick Wright wanted to try his hand in the Trey Lance discussion.
I didn't see it.
And he just said stuff that we've been saying for years. So shout out to Nick Wright for doing his homework and having good taste, I guess. Ezekiel Sanchez says, what's your favorite airline? Do you fly out of Oakland? I do fly out of Oakland. It's a wonderful, wonderful, casual, relaxed airport where there's not that many people. And my favorite airline?
SAC.
I don't know. SAC is the same. I think even San Jose is kind of like that. San Jose is nice. They have a Trader Vic's in the terminal, which is nice. You get the original Mai Tai.
SAC's so mellow. It's just like
Oakland's hella mellow.
Yeah.
Cool. My favorite airline, I don't know. They're all awful equally.
Hawaiian Airlines. Hawaiian Airlines. It's my best experience. Yeah.
Hawaiian, what'd they do?
It's just amazing.
They're just cool.
Yeah.
They're tight.
And unfortunately, not I don't know if people pray or whatnot, but it's going down in Maui right now. And it's a shame because I was just there. Like it's on fire. Like a lot of it. Yeah. I just saw it this morning. So
wow.
Unfortunate.
Thoughts and prayers for Maui. Seriously. HR, Grant, hella dope. Thank you. Juan Torres, we will never have a quarterback like Mahomes because Kyle scolds quarterbacks who improvise. His micromanagement doesn't let them flourish. Fire Kyle. There is a lot of truth to that. I don't think he wants quarterbacks who improvise. He didn't want Mahomes. He didn't want Justin Fields. Those guys improvise.
He definitely doesn't
improvises, and they're telling him to stop.
Improvise. He does not want guys to improvise. That much we.
Why would you have to improvise when you have the best system?
There's zero reason. There's zero reason to ever improvise.
Just do your job. It's not that hard. It's not about you. It's about Kyle. Comeback player of the year based on training camp. Comeback player of training camp.
There's three. I'm going to give the first. I'll put first Brock Purdy because he had such a quick return, way faster than anybody anticipated. It's got to be Brock at number one. I also give it to Trey. Trey's also coming off an ankle surgery. I don't think a lot of people, it's like they forget, but he broke his ankle, had 2 ankle surgeries. So I got Brock, Trey, and Javon Kinlaw.
Yeah. I would give it to Kinlaw. Dude, his career was like on the brink. And he had an ACL reconstruction last year and it didn't work. And they got Hargrave. They got another player with his first name to replace him. Like, you're done. And now all of a sudden, hasn't been hurt in a long time, improving, kind of kicking ass. And it's like, oh, there's that first round pick who's still like 25 years old. Kinlaw. I mean, his career, I feel like they left him for dead. Maybe they left Trey for dead too. But wow. I didn't expect Kinlaw to all of a sudden be able to stay healthy this long. Knock on wood. Big deal what he's doing.
Yeah, I really hope that this continues for Kinlaw, that he has a good season and earns a second contract for himself and his family. That would be a great, great story. But yeah, outside of quarterback, Javon Kinlaw, definitely comeback player of the year. He looks phenomenal out there, and he's a monster. What I love about him is he wears the glasses. He wears until the helmet comes on, he wears the black glasses. He's the only one out there with shades on. Yeah, he's just a cool dude, man. Like, he looks like a cool ass dude out there.
Also, like, he's so locked in.
Yeah.
We all know what happened last year. Like, that was not good for anyone.
Right.
And he's also like been the kind of guy who would like dance a lot in practice, which is cool. But I notice he's not dancing as much in practice this year, which to me says he's just super serious right now. Locked in. He's not talking to anybody on the sidelines. He's just kicking ass, which is great. And I feel like Trey Lance is sort of in that same boat. Like, I really, this is my year. It's very important that I perform well in each of these practices. And both of them are doing it. You got to they're stacking days, Ryan.
Yeah,
stacking them.
Yeah. Okay. Kinlaw is out. Shout out to you.
He used to not be able to practice more than a day or two at a time. Now he's there every day. Respect.
No problems. Yeah.
No problem.
And shout out to you because Kinlaw is a beast of a man. Like, he looked like
he's large.
If he knocked my hat off, I'd be like, okay, I'm not gonna say shit. Like, Kinlaw is legit, man, and I'm happy for him. And
when that happened, I thought he was joking. He has this smile on his face, and So do I. So I thought he was joking, and then it escalated. But then he was still joking. He started yelling and stuff and singing. It was a joke, I thought. And then I escalated. I said the one thing I said the one thing he didn't like, and he was like, "All right, let's go." But at least it wasn't in person at that point. And then we worked it out the next day. Not to rehash the past, but I just wanted to be the guy to give him his props because I never had anything against him, and I wanted this to happen, and it's happening. And frankly, what you said about him getting a second contract, I want that. Yeah. I don't want him to like wash out and sit somewhere and be like, man, Grant Cohn ruined my career. Like, no, dude, go flourish. Go out and prosper, man. Yeah. Wish you nothing but the best. So far, so good.
You got to be happy for a guy like
Hell
that.
Yeah.
Man. Yeah.
No doubt. All right. Most underwhelming player of training camp or person of training camp.
Most underwhelming. I'm going to go Kyle Shanahan, not a player, as the coach. I was surprised, man. I went there.
You hadn't seen it.
I hadn't seen it in person yet. And I went there and I feel like the practices are so routine, so simple.
Yeah.
It's the same thing every damn time. He doesn't participate in the practices.
No.
He's making Sam Darnold compete with he's making Trey Lance compete with Sam Darnold when it's clear Sam Darnold is not as good as Trey Lance. It's just all annoying to me, to be honest. I still think he's a good coach, but he's the most underwhelming. There's a lot of room for improvement with Kyle Shanahan.
Okay, I got one, and it's direct. It's like related to Kyle, but it's not Kyle.
All right,
Sam Darnold.
Yeah,
they really said that he had the most arm talent in franchise history.
Stupid.
What a franchise, and that why can't he be the next Steve Young? Like Kyle said that on the record. Why can't he be the next Steve Young? Because he's terrible. Because he's Sam Darnold. That's why. Yeah. It's been interesting. I thought he was going to have this whole, like, their argument is that he's always been good. It's just been the team around him. Man, you were wrong. Wrong. Super underwhelmed by Sam Darnold, who is a lot like Jimmy in the sense, like, if the first read isn't open, he panics, and you could feel it. But the difference is Jimmy couldn't really move, and he just kind of throw an interception. Like Sam runs around and then throws an interception.
You know, that's the funny thing about Jimmy too, is that I think he's actually better than Brock Purdy when it comes to that first read. If that short first read is open, I think Jimmy's better than Brock Purdy. I think he's faster, more accurate than Brock Purdy.
A little more zip.
Yeah, more zip. It comes out faster.
But once that play extends past 2 seconds,
he's horrible. Yeah.
Horrible.
Yeah.
Whereas Brock actually is calm and makes plays. It's a big difference.
That's where Brock Purdy's way better.
And they call it like late in the down. He's better late in the down. Sam Darnold is supposed to be the kind of guy who could make plays late in the down. I don't trust him with the ball in his hands for more than a second and a half. Get it out.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, part of the reason why Sam Darnold's so underwhelming is because of the hype, right? Everything we heard. He's the greatest
Steve Young.
Greatest,
the most arm talent in franchise history. Just in terms of how they throw. Like, dude.
No way.
Are you kidding me? He doesn't even have Trey Lance's arm talent.
Trey is the best thrower of the football in training camp right now.
Yeah. Yeah. And like Brock Purdy, he has less physical gifts than Sam Darnold, but Sam Darnold doesn't know what to do with his. So I'll take Brock Purdy any day, freaking day over Sam Darnold. Not even close. I don't trust Sam Darnold. I think he's terrible.
Yeah,
that's my professional opinion.
I think
Brandon Allen. I don't know. I might even prefer Brandon Allen because he knows the system. He's been around. Sam looks like if the first read isn't open, he looks like I don't know what to do.
Think about this. Sometimes I even wonder if this competition is legit when it comes to training Sam. I feel like they had to tell Sam he had an opportunity to compete, at least for QB2, or else why would he come here? But then Brock came back faster. And so is this competition legit, or are they just doing this to appease the political side with Sam Darnold? And then at the last minute, they're going to be like, sorry, man.
If they're afraid of Sam Darnold's feelings and they're worried about appeasing him, what about Trey, dude?
It's a good point.
What about freaking Trey?
Good point.
Who's clearly miserable. Brooks says Lil B the bass guy would have been a better nickname choice for BCB, less salacious and ties to Bay Area culture. No one remembers Lil B. He was so big like 15 years ago.
Lil B the bass guy from Berkeley?
Lil B the bass guy was great. Yeah, I think he went to Albany High. I could be wrong.
Yeah.
He went to Albany. But yeah, that guy was dope. Still is. At Ryan, in your last X post tweet, you said that your team, Cousins next year, if Trey and Brock aren't the guy, please pick someone else than Kirk.
I'm tired of messing around. Okay, when I wrote that tweet, I was watching Hard Knocks, and I'm just like, you see, like and obviously Kirk Cousins is not Aaron Rodgers. That's not what I'm saying. But when Aaron Rodgers comes in, it feels like the whole energy changed, and he's gonna give them so much more opportunity than they would have had. The other thing I really like too is you're watching Aaron Rodgers coach up Zach Wilson. I mean, how great would it have been to have Aaron Rodgers coaching up Trey Lance and Brock Purdy this season? So to me, it's like, I understand. I usually take 2 or 3 years before I judge a quarterback. So I know it's premature on both Brock and Trey, but I'm tired of messing around with these 49ers and their roster. The roster is so good. If we just had a top 10 type quarterback, we should be favorites to win a Super Bowl. And what I saw.
They do. Did you hear? Brock's the real deal.
That's true. All right,
yeah, right. you missed the memo. He's a real deal. They're good. They're going to win the Super Bowl this year. Yeah, there's no problem. Correct. And Colton McKivitz is better than Mike McGlinchey. So they're fine. It's all good. Biggest surprise of training camp?
I'm going to go with Taco, man. I didn't see him getting, he's obviously new. He's only had, 3-4 practices. Didn't see him coming here in the first place. And it sounds like he's immediately just wreaking havoc. He's done great at every practice he's been to so far. So Taco could be a huge missing piece to this defensive edge. And I'm excited about him. He's built like really slim, skinny, but fast, quick guy. He has a ton of talent. He never really reached it. He's only had 11.5 sacks total throughout his career. But if anybody can put it together, it'd be Kasurek.
Yeah, I feel like they signed him first thing in the morning and they emailed out a memo, and I didn't check my email. And I was just watching one-on-ones, and 77 kept winning. And I was like, who's 77? Yeah. They're like, oh, that's Taco Charlton. I was like, since when? When did the Niners get that former first-round pick? Yeah. And I was like, oh, this morning. You didn't check your email? So like, it feels a little bit like he could be the Arden Key of this year.
Yeah.
He might be the one who just is a perfect fit for whatever the Niners are trying to do.
Yeah, that he's my biggest surprise. I didn't even know he was on the team. So yeah, I think Taco's the guy, man. It's taco time for sure.
It's taco time. Danny Gray coming out. I was surprised. Yeah. I kind of wrote him off. Ty Davis Price. I was surprised. Like those guys improved. But Taco, like, I didn't know he was on the team and he's winning reps over and over again. I'm like,
yeah,
what? So yeah, it's definitely the Taco Award.
Yeah, and you brought up Danny though. It's a good one too.
Yeah.
I got Danny. Honestly, I think Brandon Ayuk, Debo, and Danny are the 3 for sure locks before Juwan and Ray.
Michael McCann says, Grant, you should ask Kyle if he thinks it would be a fireable offense in any other franchise to throw away 3 first-round picks and a third. Yeah, he'd say yes.
Fire me. Yeah.
Fire me. Yeah. All right. Tell me why Brock has to outperform Jimmy this week in these joint practices.
Well, for Kyle's sake, I think more than anything. And then not only if Brock goes out there and looks worse than Jimmy Garoppolo, the guy that we just got rid of, that makes Kyle look dumb. First of all, not only that, if Jimmy Garoppolo looks better against the 49ers defense than Brock Purdy looks against the Raiders defense, it's going to be a long season. They really need Brock Purdy to go out there and outperform Jimmy Garoppolo for the sake of saving Kyle Shanahan's face. And not only that, to give us optimism about the future of this season. Now, I think he's going to. I would expect him to. I hope he does. But he better. I really think it's important for just a lot of things.
Yeah. Also, so you got Jimmy facing the Niners defense, Brock facing the Raiders defense. Like, it's a much tougher task for Jimmy. Yeah. So Brock, I mean, it's a big one for Brock. If Brock struggles and Jimmy plays well, that's going to be a story. It's going to be a big story. And that might shake some of the confidence in this locker room. Like, what are we doing here? Yeah. What are we really doing? We've talked ourselves into this kid, but we don't even really know him that well. And the guy we do know is over there, and he outshined our guy. I don't expect this to happen, though. I expect Jimmy Garoppolo to continue to play. Like, as bad as he played with the Raiders, I think he's going to be even worse against the Niners. I think he's going to be really, really bad. And it's going to be a joke, and we're all going to laugh. Like this. Ha, 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 like that.
I'm looking forward to that.
We're going to throw our heads back and laugh. Yeah. Like, oh, the Jimmy joke.
That's what I expect to happen. I expect Brock to outperform Jimmy Garoppolo this week. But if he doesn't, that's not good. I mean, obviously, it doesn't mean anything. It's preseason, but it means something, right? Like within just how the team's feeling, how Kyle looks. If Brock goes out there and looks worse than Jimmy, you don't think Kyle in his head is like, what did I do? Did I do the right thing here? Like questioning himself a little bit?
Yes. Because he doesn't think much of Jimmy. So if his own guy is worse than Jimmy, that's a problem.
Yeah.
All right. Enough about Brock, though. Give me Trey's objective this week in these joint practices and in the preseason game.
Trey's job is to shorten Brock Purdy's leash. That's what I think. I think it's very unlikely that Trey Lance earns the QB1 spot. I'm really not worried about Sam Darnold too much in regards to that competition with Trey. But what Trey can do this preseason is ball out, and what that's going to do is shorten the leash for Brock Purdy. So if Trey looks bad, Sam looks bad, and Brock looks like Brock, Kyle's the leash on Brock Purdy is going to be long, right? He can lose 3, 4, 5 games without being questioned if that's the case. But if Trey balls out in the preseason and Brock struggles at all this season, maybe it's going to be less. His leash is going to be smaller, maybe a couple, 2, 3 weeks. If you got Trey Lance who looked amazing in the preseason right behind him. So I think Trey has a good opportunity right now. He's got to treat this like it's everything for him, because this might be his last opportunity to really show what he's about. He's definitely got to beat out Sam, but he also has an opportunity to shorten the leash for Brock Purdy. If Brock Purdy struggles, then Trey can be the next man up.
Yeah, and I would say for Trey, I know it's been tough for you to have the right mindset every day because you really don't want to be here, or it seems like that. But keep doing what you're doing. I feel like you have the right mindset right now. You're not trying to do too much. You're not forcing the ball down. If you hear that one interception about a week ago to D Winters, and right afterward, Kyle's like, oh, yeah, he should have checked it down. He really hasn't made that mistake since then. He's been taking what the defense gives him, all the short stuff, proving that he can hit it, and then also hitting the intermediate stuff, throws that maybe Brock and Sam aren't as good at, like the deep outs and stuff. Keep hitting the short intermediate ones. Like the one deep throw you throw and make or miss isn't going to make the difference. Keep playing the way you're playing so that you can operate from the pocket on time, in rhythm. People will notice. People will notice.
Yeah. Move the ball. Yeah. Run the offense, move the ball.
Yep.
And if nothing else, maybe it'll bring up trade offers for you. I don't think that's likely at this time of year, but if somebody goes down on another team, it's possible. So Trey, this is an audition for not only the 49ers and his future with the Niners, but also the entire NFL. I mean, he's been written off by a lot of teams. He's not even on charts. All these like top 30 quarterbacks, he's not even on the list. Right. So it's an opportunity to make himself relevant again and say, you guys forgot about me.
Yeah. All right. Before we go, I want to just mention, hold on, let me get it. I got a sponsorship because we're big time now.
Yeah.
Bet US, which is funny because I don't really gamble, but a lot of people do. Mm-hmm. And it seems to me that this is a good deal because if you felt like betting that the Niners are going to win the Super Bowl, you could go here. Like all the little prop bets you would think, how many wins, how far are they going to go? If you believe the Niners are going to win the Super Bowl and you want to put money on it, you could go here. And whatever you decide, however much money is good enough for you, they like put 125 on top of it, 125%.
That's great.
So if you put $100, they'll match 125, and all of a sudden you're betting 225 on the 49ers to win the Super Bowl. So if you're into gambling and you're confident in the Niners and you want to make this bet, you should just do it here. There's a link in the description. Click on it. And when you go, tell them Grant sent you. No, just kidding. Like, I don't think people do that anymore. But honestly, it just seems like a really good deal.
Yeah.
And thank you, Bet US, for betting on my channel. That was terrible.
Yeah, that was bad.
That was really bad. Yeah. Thank you very much. All right. I'm going to Vegas.
Have fun, man. Speaking of gambling, don't do it.
Not too much, just the right amount.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm going to gamble.
You got to put $1 in the slot, at least minimum. That's required.
Last time I went, I sat at like one of those bars where they had like a little blackjack thing like right in front of you, like video one. Yeah. And I was like, all right, I'll play $20 and I'll play until I lose all of it. And I played for like an hour. I had like 3 drinks. It was fun.
Yeah, I'm not a big gambler either, but if I do play anything, it's blackjack, actual blackjack. That's the way to go.
Do you leave when you've made money, or do you keep going until you've lost it all?
Usually, I would keep going until I lost it all because I'm drinking the free drinks, but my wife usually grabs me before that point.
Thomas Billup says, does Trey not get first team reps now because Kyle knows he's starting preseason with the backups? I mean, he doesn't get he gets first string reps when Brock doesn't practice, but he's practicing more and more. Khalil Kemp says, regardless of who plays better than who, if there's one thing this team knows how to do is die on a hill. True. Quana says, Trey Lance objective, do you question, keep showing your progress and then look at Kyle on the sideline and say, tease. Bofa, this is courtesy of Bofa. Thank you, Quana. Appreciate you. That's the show. Next time I see you, I'll be in the desert. Take care.
Have fun, man.